There we
Oh, hello, friends. Welcome to Feelings with the Geekiary. I'm Erin, and I am here along with fellow hosts Vaughn and Tara. We're fans. We have feelings, and this is where we webcast about them. Welcome
Yay.
to September and October.
go.
Double going. A friendly reminder that this is also a podcast, so please subscribe to us on iTunes so you don't miss any of our feelings. And that's all up to date now, so you should definitely go subscribe. And if you are listening to this as a podcast, please remember that this is recorded live, so we are not exactly sure what's going to happen. Please forgive us any technical difficulties or accidental swears. You can join the hashtag with the conversation. I mean, you can join the hashtag. You can join the conversation with the hashtag Geekiary feelings. Come on, how will we know you're wrong if you don't tell us? It's a bit late here. Just give me a break.
Yeah, someone's not in their normal
Yes.
time zone.
Yeah. We'd like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast, including those of a very tired Vaughn, are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the Geekiary or the webcast itself as a whole.
Yeah, please don't judge them based on what I say this evening. You'll see, I'm in my robe. I'm in bed, ready to go.
I really like your tattoo, though.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
nice.
I'm officially Harry Potter branded.
I missed this. I must have. Did you put it on?
I think I put it on Instagram. Yeah, it's
Instagram.
yeah,
I'm
it's
super awful about. Oh, yay! I'm super awful about checking my Instagram newsfeed. I'm about as good at doing that as I am at checking my Twitter newsfeed. So, all right. So yeah.
News updates apart from my tattoo, which is super cool, and I am now like basically cool.
Yeah.
I can also report that it's like doesn't hurt as much as I thought it was going to.
I've had one tattoo that hurt really bad, and it's because it's on my thigh, and that's like it's where the skin is like most tender because it never sees the light of day. So yeah, newsy news. Check us out on Patreon as always, patreon.com/the Geekiary. That's not really news, but we've gotten a couple new patrons over the past couple months, so that's really cool. There's like little extra stuff you can get, and you get news first and stuff if you are a patron. So consider donating a couple bucks a month for that if you can. Oh, and then also, as you can see, I mentioned this in the DragonCon webcast a little over a week ago, but we are officially moving the webcast to the first Thursday of the month. Thank you to Vaughn and Erin for being understanding, because this is kind of my fault that it's moving. I go to a lot of conventions, and it seems like 90% of them happen the last weekend of the month, so I'm hoping that us doing it the first Thursday of the month will be easier on not so much rescheduling.
Way easier. Everyone does everything at the end of the month.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, stuff is happening. Deadlines, just everyone goes crazy at the end of the month. And you're just like, time is arbitrary, mate. Like, stop. It doesn't mean anything. You don't have to get it done by the end of the month. It's okay.
But yeah, so next month again, it'll be the first Thursday, which is the November 2nd. That's like super early in the month, but
cool.
Excellent. I like how Vaughn is like British. Vaughn is all like philosophical. I'm like,
just at 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm a very philosophical person.
Well,
I'm also still very jet lagged, so.
I don't think we've had a webcast since Game of Thrones wrapped, have we?
No, we haven't. I don't think so.
All right. So Tara, lead us down the Game of Thrones path.
Jesus. So like every feelings webcast, we even when Game of Thrones is not airing and months from airing, we talk about hashtag Hairgate, which eventually became hashtag ManBunGate, and has possibly been usurped by hashtag BoatSexGate. I'm grossed out by how just lightly this show has taken the incest thing now. Like Cersei's having a baby, apparently. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen really, but supposedly Cersei's like pregnant with Jaime's baby and it's like all okay. And John's having sex with his aunt when it would have taken apparently it would have taken like 5 minutes for a raven to fly from Winterfell to wherever John and Dany were to tell John that he's Dany's aunt. And I'm sure that there's some
but that wouldn't
out there who would love to tell me about how the timelines are different and John had sex with Dany before Bran knew that he was actually a Targaryen and all that nonsense.
What is going on behind you right now?
Bran knew
Who, me?
at all times.
Yeah.
It's my dog.
Your sheet's like
yeah, he's coming. I had to I had to pick it up. You can't really see, but I had to pick it up and like pin it into the side of my desk so that he can come in and visit me. Otherwise, he would like be ripping the sheet down.
You're not being attacked by some specter.
Although it is Halloween month, so
just getting in with the vibe. Okay, so incest. It's okay.
Yeah, I would just wish that Emilia Clarke and Kit Harington, John, had better chemistry on screen.
Yeah.
I think that they have good chemistry off screen. Like, I think they're friends and stuff, but on screen it's just like, it's very wooden and like not natural.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, this show is a bit just silly, isn't it? Right? Like,
yeah.
None of it makes much sense. Like, the timelines, as you have so readily pointed out, are ridiculous. Like, and there's all kinds of stuff happening that's just like, everyone's just like, there's like, even like regular folk who are not like fan people that go through and be like, oh, this is wrong because like there's no way that could have made it, or like, I'm pretty sure that seems like we're stretching the limits of the world building you've established here, but okay.
They don't care. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, literally, they have said that they don't care. So, the showrunners have said that they don't care. It doesn't matter. The timeline doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that people think it's wrong, etc. So, good for them.
I do have to give a little shout out, though, to the acting skills of Alfie Allen, because even though nobody likes Theon, I get it, whatever, Alfie Allen is amazing. I still think he's the best actor on that show.
He's good. I mean, he
impresses me.
Hate Theon, but I don't know. But sort of care about him, which is, I guess, the essentialness of Theon.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I get a lot of people really don't like Theon. I don't have a problem with Theon. I mean, and Alfie Allen is fine. He doesn't look like Theon to me, and I've never really been able to get over that. But he is a good actor, like, absolutely, like, very, very good actor. So I guess in that respect, I understand that that's probably why he was cast. So, I mean, and like, listen, this season, it was like pure entertainment. It was ridiculous entertainment. And I'm like, having read the spoilers well before the season aired, and I had months to be like, nah, these aren't true. But if they are, I like, at least I have time to get used to them. Well, they were, and I had time to get used to them. And so even though there was some really ridiculous shit happening, none of it bothered me as much as it would have. So I'm really hoping that there's spoilers for season 8 too, so that I can once again have months and months to get used to the nonsense that this show is going to portray on our television screen.
None of the ridiculousness bothered me. Like, honestly, the way I watch the show is like, I sit there and I'm like, what the frick is going on? And I get into it and I yell at the screen, like, what are you doing? Where, and the moment it's over, I forget about it. I literally have no further thoughts about Game of Thrones when the episode ends.
I mean, isn't that how fantasy is supposed to be, though? Don't you want it to be ridiculous and like...
No.
I mean, see, that's the thing. I don't. That's why I love Song of Ice and Fire, because it's not ridiculous. Like, There's another series one of my friends kept suggesting to me, the Mazatlan Chronicles, and she was like, "You'll love this series because you love Song of Ice and Fire." And I read the first book and I barely got through it because it was like reading a D&D campaign that somebody had written down. It was so ridiculous. I mean, it was and it come to find out that it was the person who wrote it based it on a D&D style game that him and his friends created. And he literally was like writing their play into a novel, and it was horrible. And I stopped reading fantasy for the longest time because it was so like over the top, and Song of Ice and Fire got me back into it. But even now, I still can't, like, the fantasy series that I love the most have that more like realistic touch to them. And but I still, and was, like I said, was able to enjoy Game of Thrones because like I knew that it was going to be ridiculous beforehand.
I think there's differences, right? Because I like silly fantasy, right?
Yeah.
I like fairy tales, as like, that's completely different to like high fantasy where I expect like a certain level of world building.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was going for, is like,
Yeah.
But
Game of
I'm
Thrones,
cool
like,
with,
I mean, Game of Thrones, like some Ice and Fire, I was like, that was always it's high fantasy, right? So it's always like deep world building, and it's everything is like there's it's fantasy, but it's also like very intricately planned fantasy that like works and makes sense. Whereas Game of Thrones at this point is just like fairy tale essentially, which is like it's fine and fun to watch, but is not really what I invested in.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy watching it because I haven't watched it. Like I always watch it with friends, whether it's like having a few people over here or like watching it online with a few of my friends who are really into it. And like that's the way I enjoy it, because we all have our commentary, and honestly, like listening to my friends' commentary is like 60% of the fun of watching the show.
Yeah, I feel like I it's definitely a group activity. I would never like kind of watch Game of Thrones by myself. I don't think I would. I like watching it with people.
Oh, I do that every week.
Oh,
Ooh, I know.
do you go?
Sad.
Do you go online and comment on it?
Not really. I mean, I guess I do Twitter a little bit. Sorry, my cat's like on my computer, so
Because I think Twitter kind of acts
That's
the
what
same
happens
way.
when you get a desk. The cat climbs all over your computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She put some extra letters in the doc over here. So, good. Thanks. Thanks, Minnie.
So yeah, I don't know. That's about it. I feel like Game of Thrones is one of those things that so many people talk about it. I like giving it a little bit of like a recap. We have our own thing with Hairgate / Man Bun Gate / now Boat Sex Gate. But that was one thing I was talking about with Brian the other day. Like, we follow this YouTube channel, and I'm not going to say what it is, but these people had their own shtick that they were doing. They had these really fun videos, and then they put off making these really awesome videos that they made so that they could review Game of Thrones on a weekly basis. And it's like, nobody needs that. There's like 8,000 Game of Thrones webcasts and podcasts and, recap articles and everything like that. Stick to what you know and what you do well.
Yeah, at this point, no one needs a hot take on Game of Thrones.
Well, let's get off this hot take then, and
Yeah.
let's talk about something else.
All right. So other news stuff, like there's not really that much big news this week.
It's New York Comic Con, isn't it?
Yeah. It's NYCC right now. I mean, the most recent thing from there is that Netflix pulled The Punisher. They aren't doing like a showing or panel, I think, even because of what happened in Vegas. not that the Punisher really has anything to do with that, but vigilante guns, all that stuff. So that's kind of sad and disappointing, but like also understandable and probably a good decision on their part, I think. But that's really all that's come from there so far. Because Jamie from the Geekiary is there, and apparently everything is happening on Saturday. So
yes, as per usual,
literally happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any like other newsy things? I looked through the website. There's some, little tidbits. Will and Grace, the new season premiered and got like 10 million viewers and stuff, but not that much has happened the earlier part of this week. So
No, I mean, my news is like I spent every day waking up to see what suit Harry Styles wore on his tour the night before. And that kind of interspersed with the horrors of the world, that's my life.
I finally discovered Harry Styles. I put that in quotes because I've always been a fan, but now I get it. I finally got to the point where I'm like, oh, that's what everyone is talking about. Got it. So now I love him. I love him. He's great.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to another friend of mine who, went through the same experience. She's like, I never really got it, and now I get it. And I'm like, yeah, he's charming, and he will make you fall for him.
Well, and I saw Dunkirk also, so I mean,
he was good in Dunkirk.
He was good at that, yeah. So
Dunkirk was just good. It was just a good movie.
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
I still haven't seen it. I need to. I have a list of movies I need to see. I saw several after we lost internet from the hurricane, but the problem was then we didn't have internet access or anything. So the ones that we had gotten before we lost internet access were all that we had for 8 days. So yay.
Did you watch anything good?
I mean, not really. Okay, so we watched the new Pirates movie. It was awful, not surprisingly. And we watched Baywatch, which was actually this movie is so self-aware. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's hilarious. And also it has The Rock in it. So pretty much any movie that has The Rock in it is a win-win in my book, because he's great. So yeah, not really anything good. And then I finally watched Legend of Avatar, whatever. Avatar, the original Avatar. I'd never seen it, so we had it on DVD, y'all, not even Blu-ray, DVD, and that's what we watched for 7 of the 8 days that we didn't have internet.
Avatar is in the James Cameron.
No.
Ang Lee's.
No, not the movie, the show, the TV show.
The show. Yeah, that's good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, the Nickelodeon show. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a positive. I'm like, either of the other options were just terrible, and I'm like,
oh yeah, no. How could I have watched either one of those for 8 days? Although I did go to the World of Pandora or whatever the fuck it's called at Disney World. So I did have a little bit of Avatar in there because of the hurricane. A whole bunch of people canceled their vacation, so my friends and I were just stalking the My Disney Experience app, and we were able to get literally last minute fast passes. It was Thursday morning, the week right after the hurricane, and we were stalking the My Disney Experience app, and we were able to get fast passes around the same time Thursday afternoon. So she drove in from Tampa with her boyfriend, and I drove in, from the east side of Orlando where I live, and we met at Animal Kingdom and rode Avatar. It was and honestly, I could care less about Avatar. The best thing that has come from that movie is the SNL skit from this past weekend, but the ride is actually really freaking cool. It's a really awesome immersive experience. So I honestly can't wait to ride it again. So
Cool. Well, at least something good came out of that terrible trash movie that I hate more than anything.
Yeah, it's horrible.
that James Cameron is going to spend like what, $1 billion on making sequels of that no one wanted.
I mean, yeah, that movie's. But the ride is cool, so and it has nothing really to do with the general storyline of that movie, so it's you know, its own thing.
I mean, to be fair, the movie looked cool.
Yeah.
But the only other news thing that I wanted to mention, just because Dragon Con was earlier this month, and about a week ago, we did our annual post Dragon Con webcast. Myself and you know, Becca from the Geekiary and a couple friends. But so yesterday was one of the hotel days for Dragon Con, and this is like, it's like Comic-Con. It's freaking impossible to get a hotel, especially one that you really want, and expensive as well. And the Hyatt, which is one of the host hotels, had their hotel day yesterday, where at 11 a.m. you're supposed to be able to go to this link that's on the Dragon Con website and try to book a room. And like, you might not get one depending on how fast you are and everything. But yesterday somebody messed up. You know, either the Hyatt gave them the wrong link, or what is far more likely is that they put the wrong link on their website. So people, probably thousands of people, were sitting there refreshing the wrong hotel booking link for like 20 minutes before it was finally announced, oh, oops, it's the wrong link. Here's the right one. And apparently someone else figured out the correct, like the link was like passkey.com / a bunch of gibberish numbers and letters, or no, / Dragon Con 2018 / a bunch of stupid numbers and letters. Someone somewhere figured out that it was supposed to be Dragon 2018, not Dragon Con 2018. Everything else about the link, including the gibberish at the end, was the same. So like, some people were able to figure out the right link and get in. And they tried to share it, you know, in like the Dragon Con Facebook groups and stuff. But unfortunately, like, by the time it was shared, like all the, you know, and more people saw it, like all the rooms were gone. So there were a lot of really pissed off people.
Yeah, that's a bit not cool.
Well, I mean, how do you type in the wrong link? Like, I love Dragon Con so much, but how do you put the wrong link on your website? And like, you know, and they apologized everything, and that's fine. And there weren't really that many rooms left in the Hyatt anyway, because it's one of the hotels that does legacy booking. So like, if you had a room there this year, you can rebook for next year, like before you even check out. You know, and they did apologize and everything, but like, honestly, I really, as much as I love Dragon Con, this is one of those things that they do along with the app that just doesn't work very well, hasn't worked very well for years and years, and like, they need to grow and change with the times. So I'm hoping that people have been complaining about Passkey, the website they use, since before I think I even started going to Dragon Con. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be another like notch in the belt where they eventually will move away from using Passkey. They could probably do well to use a system like Comic-Con uses. As much as I don't care for the new Comic-Con way of booking hotels, it's still better than people for Dragon Con having to take people take a morning off of work, because if you have a firewall, chances are you're not going to be able to get into the Passkey site. Like, that's how crazy this is. So I don't know. They need to stop using Passkey. Dragon Con, please stop using Passkey. That's the only other news thing I had to say.
Just getting tickets for shit is just getting worse and worse for anything, though. There's too many people who like stuff. Remember when it wasn't cool to like stuff? That was a good time. That was a good time for us.
And tickets for Dragon Con, that's no problem. You can get a ticket. Like, you can walk up and buy a ticket the day you go there. But the hotel thing is a nightmare. So, you know.
Fair. Hotels, yeah. Still too many people.
Yes. Oh yeah. They have, it's an 80,000 person convention, and there's nowhere near enough hotel rooms for that many people. So.
Cool. Cool. Okay. So what have we been up to for 2 months? What have we got to talk about?
I've been working a lot. So,
Cool.
yay. It's
I
my
traveled
busy time at work, so.
I traveled to the other side of the world. So,
Yes.
I feel like that's something. Tara, you went to a bunch of cons, or you've got cons coming up.
I went to, I mean, I had since our last webcast, I had Dragon Con, which I don't need to really talk about because we did a whole webcast about it last week. And then this past weekend, I had MegaCon Tampa Bay, which was the second year for that convention. Last year it was at the end of October. I really wish they would move it back to the end of October for several reasons. It's cooler is a big one. Also, it's a little bit separated from all the other big conventions. Tampa has a big convention, Tampa Bay Comic-Con, that happens at the end of July. So it was literally 2 months between that big convention and MegaCon Tampa, which I think was, I don't know if it was an oversight or if they are really directly trying to compete. But I really enjoyed MegaCon Tampa last year. And I think that it had the workings to be good this year, but it being so much earlier in the year, a month doesn't sound like a lot, except for the fact that, again, just 2 months ago, there was another convention in that city, a big one. And then less than a month before, there was Dragon Con, which so many people, including from Florida, go to because it's driving distance. And then on top of that, it's still the height of hurricane season. And unfortunately this year, we had Hurricane Irma, and I do have to give and I know it hurt MegaCon Tampa's attendance a lot, but the hurricane did. But I have to give them major props because they offered full refunds to Florida residents who wanted to cancel their tickets because of the hurricane.
Wow.
And it had happened. The hurricane happened a couple weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks before MegaCon Tampa, but they knew that there were people who were out of work, whether it was for 2-3 days or, like me, I was out of work for 6 days because I didn't have internet access. So A++ to them for offering refunds, but unfortunately, it did hurt their overall attendance and stuff. I mean, I hope they come back next year, but I've got my fingers crossed that they move it back to the end of October. So and yeah, other than that, between conventions, I've just been doing work for Beach City Con because that's next weekend.
How exciting!
Yay.
Yeah, I forgot. It's been so long since I ran a convention in its first year that I forgot how crazy it is. But also Beach City Con is a lot bigger than Ice and Fire Con was even this year, so it's a lot of work. And having the hurricane, not having internet, and then being away for MegaCon Tampa, being away for my sister's wedding the weekend before that, it's stressful. So for anybody who goes to conventions but has no idea what goes into planning them, please be easy on us. And I don't just mean for Beach City Con, I mean any convention. It's a lot of work.
You're right. It is. It is, especially the startups, the ones that are coming from
nothing,
because you're basically building something from nothing, and that's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it to be over. At this point, I kind of feel like it's a first year. There's going to be hiccups, and I know that, and I just want to get through it and figure out, I don't know, figure out how to make it better for next year.
Fair, and I'm sure you will. I'm sure it will be an amazing weekend.
Hopefully.
I have faith. It's all right. Me at 1 a.m. is apparently a very positive person.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that.
So Erin, smashing tropes on the
Yes. So I have been working a lot, so I haven't really had a lot of time to do this, but I started a new series that I will be writing, hopefully bi-weekly going forward. When the next one will be, I don't know. I know. It's called Smashing Tropes, and basically I'll be taking a popular trope and giving examples, good examples of great writers, TV, movies, whatever, that are smashing those tropes, because it takes a lot of guts to do something that's kind of outside of the mold. And it's just something that's interesting to me. And the first one I wrote was a couple weeks ago, and it was about how aging females or mature females are portrayed, especially they're getting their own stories to tell, especially on TV. And give some examples, and Orphan Black led the pack with there are a lot of mature women on that show that have a lot of story to tell. So, yes.
That's nice. I mean, I think anytime that the protagonist is not like a woman in her early 20s is, I mean, you know, if the woman in your show is not in her early 20s, it's a positive kind of step away from serious issues of ageism in Hollywood. So yeah, no, I think that's really cool. Do you have any hints about other tropes you're planning on writing about?
Oh, well, I will be doing one on barrier gaze, of course, because that is one that we have talked about frequently at the Geekiary. And there are some shows that have broken the mold on that one. So
yeah, no, I know of a few shows that like directly kind of play with that and kill everybody else except for the gays.
Yeah. So
that's what I think should be the trope going forward. Just kill straight people and not the gay people.
That would be nice.
Yeah, in like the first episode, fridge the straight people to give the gay people angst, you know? Like,
yeah, I definitely will be tackling fridging as well, because again, that's another one that we've talked about a lot at the Geekiary. And you know, we're living, especially, you know, I go back to TV because that's kind of my comfort zone, the area I love the most. And there are some really courageous writers right now. And it's pretty amazing. There's some bad TV out there, but there's some really good TV too. So
yeah. And it's honestly, it's like, with the exceptions, I guess, of Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, it's pretty easy to avoid the bad TV. Yeah. And the only reason it's hard to avoid those is because they're everywhere. They're shoved in your face by the media. They're shoved in your face by your friends, generally.
Yeah, because those are two shows that like normies watch, you know, non-fans watch. Like,
yeah.
So like when people talk to you and they're like, oh, I know you're a fan of television. They go for like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones as their like go-to kind of connecting point, because they're like, this is the one that I know. You know?
Oh yeah, I work in an office, and that's like people that know that I write for the Geekiary and that I love TV. Like, those are the shows they come and talk to me about. You're absolutely right. And I'm like, you should watch iZombie, and they're like, no, you know, I've talked about this before.
It's like, yeah, it's just so disappointing because they start a dialogue and they're like, oh yeah, no, I love Game of Thrones, and I'm like, oh. Well, if you love Game of Thrones, you should watch these other shows that are actually really heaps better. And they're like, wait, no, this isn't a like thing where you tell me.
Yeah.
To watch. This is a thing where I explain how good Game of Thrones is to you, even though you're the one that with a degree in like media criticism.
So Vaughn, what have you done over
I have
the
caught
last
up
couple
on a
months?
lot of telly. Like, I had like a few. I got sick. So I didn't have anything to do except lie there and watch telly. So I finally watched Winona Earp, which I'm sure Erin will be happy about. I'm a few episodes behind now, but I caught up on like the first season and like the first half of the second season, and it was really good. I really liked it. I was like, you know what, I didn't know a lot about it apart from the fact that there were some lesbians in it, but I did not realize that it was essentially like supernatural cross with Buffy with like a cool older protagonist instead of a teenage girl. I did not know that, and that was like refreshingly fun. And she's, so kind of your traditional kind of like dude hero, but a chick, and that's nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I started watching it. I've gotten, I think I've watched 3 episodes, but like part of it was I didn't have internet for 8 days, and then I've been traveling like the better part of the past 2 weeks, and I've got Beach City Con happening, but like that's literally like as soon as my life is less insane, that's like I've got it set to watch or to continue watching. So like, and I'm interested in it so far. I think I'm going to need to go back and watch at least the 3rd episode. I don't think I paid enough attention to that, the last one I watched, but like I'm enjoying it. It's a little bit cheesy, but but like I hear so much about like, and I've been spoiled for some things that happen, later. Cause I mean, Erin, especially I edited one of your Comic-Con articles from this year about it. Oh, it's okay. Like when I edited the article, I was like, I know I'm going to watch this and this means I'm getting spoiled, but like, I don't think it really matters. Like, for me, like there's a lot of TV shows I've been spoiled for that I've watched later, and it doesn't, if it's a good show, it doesn't really detract from the overall enjoyment of it, I think. So
I am not bothered by spoilers. I mean, I think if you're on the internet and you write about media, then you sort of just get used to it. You're just like, you get spoiled. And I don't think it actually, like in most shows, it doesn't actually dampen you. There are some shows where like the whole point is that you don't know what's going on. So being spoiled is really frustrating. But for most shows, like it's just like it's kind of nice, you're anticipating something that you know is going to happen. And you're
like, yes. Well, when we're all 3 caught up with season 2, we definitely need to circle back and have some conversations about season 2, especially. So
yeah, it definitely won't be next month for me, because like I'm still, I'm basically assumed that I'm persona non grata through like October 16th, but yeah, definitely by the beginning of next year. I mean, I figured 3 months is enough time for me to watch 2 seasons of a show, hopefully.
Hopefully, and it's only 12 episodes, isn't it?
Oh, that's not bad then. I might be able to catch up by December.
It's I was surprised it was good, and I was watching it and I was like, wow, this is fun, great. And I like a show with good sister relationships, having a sister. I'm like, yes, I appreciate a show that does sister dynamics really well, and it does.
Well, and the graphic novel writer that the show is based on, it's based on a graphic novel, and the writer of that is a straight guy from the South, and like he goes to Comic-Con every year, and he's at the round tables, and he is just like the coolest person I've ever talked to. And it's just like, you wouldn't think that these types of characters and these ideas and storylines would come from somebody like that, but he does it, and it's great. So
I mean, does he have like input, from other people, from friends or family members? Does he do research? Because a lot of that, that can help.
I don't know. I mean, Winona herself is like a very rough around the edges kind of character. So
yeah, Winona herself is essentially your Dean Winchester. But she's a girl, right?
Right. But a lot of the secondary characters or the tertiary characters are
quite interesting.
Different. Yeah, they're really unique. So
yeah, don't spoil me for any more than I've already been spoiled for. No, I really am okay with knowing like some vague future things. And also, I mean, I edited that article in the end of July. So I have forgotten everything except for like the big main point about it. So like it's fine.
Well, and not all of season 2 had aired at that point either. It was
True,
still in progress. So yeah.
Cool. So I watched that one. I also caught up on The Good Place, which I found delightful.
It's so
Lovely.
cute. I love it.
Excellent comfort food watching. Would recommend for a bad day. And yeah, that's kind of what I spent my time doing, catching up on TV. Yeah, tonight I just watched Blade Runner in preparation for watching Blade Runner 2049 tomorrow. So.
Ooh.
I should. Yeah. I've seen Blade Runner, but it's been a long time. I should probably rewatch because I've heard. I mean, the reviews or whatever coming out of Blade Runner 2049 are like stellar.
Yeah.
I don't want to know because I don't want to be like.
I haven't read anything specific. I saw like a headline.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about it is that still of Harrison Ford punching Ryan Gosling, for real.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did hear that.
Yeah. There's a still of like their faces just after it happens. And it's honestly hilarious. And I feel like, if that's all we get from this movie, then it was worth it.
Oh my gosh, you're getting an extreme close-up of my cat's face right now.
Hi, Minnie.
She's like, oh, what is this thing?
I'm like really shocked that all we got was the one early like visit from my dog, and you guys couldn't even see him because other than him like knocking the background around.
Ghost dog.
Yeah, usually I have a cat or a cat or two. I mean, I have this guy. I have Mirorth. He was from our Team Casterly Rocket cosplay at Dragon Con. So it's Team Rocket, but with an L instead of an R on our shirts, and obviously like blonde hair because we're Lannisters. And instead of Meowth, we had Mirorth. He does have the coin on his forehead. But his moves are Payday and Nasty Plot, which we thought were very Lannister.
Nice.
I was pretty proud of that cosplay. Literally 3 people got it, but it was a lot of fun and very comfortable to wear. So that.
Nice.
But
all
yeah.
Right. Anything else that we really need to discuss about this month? These past 2 months?
Not past 2 months. I mean, what's coming up? Like television wise, I literally like the only thing I could think of to put in this document was why is there nothing on television right now? Because there's not at all. I mean, that's not 100% true. Like I'm watching Outlander, which I'll talk about later, and Fear the Walking Dead, which Fear the Walking Dead, like a lot of people hate on it because it's not like the characters from Walking Dead who they love, Daryl and all them, but like it's a better show right now than Walking Dead is. It reminds me of like early seasons of Walking Dead when it was still interesting. So like I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed this whole season of Fear the Walking Dead, and I've mentioned this before, but I've enjoyed it more than I enjoyed. Erin, I see your cat adding. Oh my god.
She just added like a million ones in our documents.
But yeah, I'm still enjoying this season of Fear the Walking Dead more than I enjoyed last season of Walking Dead. So I might be alone in that, but whatever.
Fair. Yeah, I don't watch either, so I'm like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm watching The Good Place and Winona Earp. So those are shows that I'm watching. But other than that, I'm just waiting for iZombie to come back because I just don't care about any other TV shows.
Yep.
I can't remember if the last time we did this webcast, if my mom had started watching iZombie at that point. I don't know. I got my mom to start watching it, and she watched all the seasons in like 3 weeks.
Nice.
And she works 2 jobs. Like, I don't know how she did it. She loved it. It was weird. My mom. who knows?
I'm trying to get my parents to watch it. I think they watched like one random episode, maybe. Like my mom's like, not really my thing. But like, I really want my niece to watch it because she likes Walking Dead. She's 11. Do you think that's too young for iZombie? She watches
I
Walking
think it's
Dead.
too young for Walking Dead, but
Yes.
probably not iZombie.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like, she watches Walking Dead, so like, I feel like that's not too young if she watches Walking Dead. I don't know anything about children, y'all. I was trying to place her, like, because she's about to turn 11, like, I want to place her in a Hogwarts house and, like, get her a bunch of, like, I want her 11th birthday to include a bunch of Hogwarts house stuff, and I have no idea where to put her, and it's driving me crazy.
She has to do some kind of test.
Yeah,
agreed.
They live on a farm in the middle of nowhere and they like don't have like proper internet, so I don't know how. Maybe I'll call my sister and like take the test online for her. I think she's probably a Ravenclaw, but I don't like to like arbitrarily place people in houses. So
yeah, it's because you don't know, and how, like some of it is like what people really want to like. As in the books, like, sometimes you look at someone, you go, I definitely think you're being in that house, but then that person is like so determinedly wants to be in another house, and you're like, you know what, you could be in that house too. So I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna place you there because
lately, and this is like the past couple of years, I have a lot of friends who like, maybe not a lot. I have several, more than 3, okay, friends who were just hardcore, like, I'm a Hufflepuff, I'm a Hufflepuff, I'm a Hufflepuff. And they take like every quiz known to man and they're a Slytherin. And I'm like, yeah, I knew you were a Hufflepuff. Everybody wants to be a puff. That's not like totally true, but I feel like most of my friends just want to be Hufflepuffs. And I'm like, but you're not, baby. But yeah, so that's my next big project, is figuring out what house my niece is in and buying her a bunch of stuff from Wizarding World.
Nice. I was in London and I went to King's Cross on my birthday to
so jealous.
The platform 9 3/4, and all the fans there all sung me happy birthday, and it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Harry Potter fans are lovely, and everyone, like 4 people called me Tonks because I had pink hair, which is like fair.
Oh, I got that too when I had purple hair, and I actually like went on a Harry Potter themed vacation to a castle when I had purple hair, and like all weekend, like Tonks. I'm like, listen, I love Tonks so much. I'm not Tonks.
I'm not. Yeah, no, that's what I'm like. I'm not Tonks. I just have pink hair. I'm sorry. I don't relate to this character in any other way, but okay.
I mean, I'm a Hufflepuff and I don't relate to her in any way, so I feel you.
I feel like Tonks is way cooler than me. Like I'm not that cool.
But yeah, so Harry Potter, yay!
Oh, still love Harry Potter.
I am, because I'm so busy at work, I started listening to the Harry Potter series on Audible, and it gets me through the day, peeps.
It's so good. I reread every year, and look, it's still delightful. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, you saw my tweet the other day that Harry is such a sassy pants. He is so cheeky, and like I
he's
forget.
So funny in the books. Like he's so funny, and he's like such a little shit too. Like
yeah,
like,
no.
I think I reread like it's in the beginning, like years ago when the books were still coming out. I reread like every time there was a new book coming out. I reread all the books before it, and I've definitely reread. I would say at least 3, probably 4 times since they've all been released. Like my last one was about 2 years ago, and like you forget how freaking good the first, like Chamber of Secrets and like Prisoner of Azkaban are actually like my 2 of my lesser favorites of the series. But like overall, like you forget how good some of it was in the earlier books, like how like lighthearted and funny it still was. How it lost so much of that later in the series, and it had to, obviously. But God, like the first book is still, it's such a good pick me up. Like everything about it.
I know. And it's like, I just love it because you're like, Harry has just like been abused his whole life. And then he's just a nice dude. But he's also kind of a little shit that's like, I don't know, take nothing from no one.
I just today listened to the chapter in Sorcerer's Stone where I think it's called Potions class. It's his first potions class. And that's when Snape is like picking on him. And he's like, I don't know, sir. But then Hermione's like next to him and like raising her hand. And Harry's like, why don't, Hermione knows the answer. Why don't you call on her?
Oh yeah, because she's like, I remember the description where she's like, like her butt's like out of the seat and her hands like stretched to the floor, to like all the way. Yeah.
I'm like, movie Harry would never say that to Snape.
I know.
Yeah, I love it. He's so funny.
I mean, to be fair, this is the guy that's like, obviously I'm gonna go meet Draco Malfoy for a duel in the middle of the night because that's totally legit. And like, if I didn't, it would be like a mark of my honor. And you're like, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, well, thank you.
I had to how old is he about? Like 12?
And this is why
11.
you're a Gryffindor, not a Slytherin, Harry.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Gryffindor secondary myself, I feel a lot of that whole like, well, I can't pass down the chance to like fight with this person because if I do, then I look like an idiot. I look like I'm weak, whatever. But then the Hufflepuff part of me is like, I don't want to fight. I just want everybody to get along.
Yeah. Oh God. So it's always so good. It's always it makes me feel so much better about everything.
Yeah, it's definitely helping me get through like some of this stressful time. So I don't have time to read it, but I have time to listen to it while I'm working.
Oh, I love audiobooks. I've gotten so into them recently. Like I put them on all the time in podcasts like this. You should listen. Yeah, no, audiobooks. I love them. They're great.
I listen to them. Not so much. It depends on whether or not I am paying to subscribe to Sirius because like every time they offer that like $30 for a 6-month deal, I subscribe to Sirius and then I listen to NPR on long drives because you haven't lived until you listen to 8 hours straight of NPR. It's actually really awesome and I'm old and enjoy it. But no, like I listen to audiobooks. Like I listen to most of the Song of Ice and Fire ones. I've actually never listened to the Harry Potter ones though. Like, are they good? Because like the Song of Ice and Fire books, it's like I listened to them because I wanted to do a reread and it was like an easy thing to listen to. But like I really don't like Roy Detrice or however you pronounce it. He's not the best like audiobook reader. So, and I think a lot of how good audiobooks are depends on like
who reads them. Yeah.
So the Harry Potter series was read by Jim Dale, and he does pretty good. He does all the voices and all the different accents too, so it's fun. He sounds exactly like Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid does. It's funny.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fair. That's it weirds me out every time you say Sorcerer's Stone, but like.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's not your fault. It's like publisher's fault where you're just like, why did you do that? Like,
because they didn't think stupid Americans would like know what the Philosopher's Stone was or what a philosopher was. I don't know. It was a dumb decision.
But we know what sorcerers are. I don't know.
It also like totally just throws out the whole Nicholas Flamel thing and like all the context. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. It is what it is.
But it's so bizarre because like I talk to Americans sometimes and they like and we'll be just talking about Harry Potter and everything is fine and then they'll say, oh yeah, and then the Sorcerer's Stone and I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, what happened just now?
Yeah. So you have on here Halloween stuff, but we're actually maybe we should skip talking about Halloween stuff because the Geekiary is planning on doing a lot of Halloween stuff during the month of October.
Yeah.
So check out the website, and there's going to be lots of articles and features to get you in the mood for scary stuff.
Several things related to Stranger Things, obviously.
Oh, yeah, Stranger Things. God, that's so good.
It's the best thing that's happening to me this month. Screw Beach City Con. Like, the best thing that's happening to me this month is Stranger Things on October 27th. So excited.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I will be watching that. Okay. So, upcoming events.
Erin, anything?
No.
Yeah.
Working. I'm going to Disney World in February.
Yay! I'll
So,
be here probably.
Yeah, I'm going with my Comic-Con roommate. We're doing a girls trip outside of Comic-Con. Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to meet up with you guys. We should drink around the world.
There will be drinking.
So I'm saying we should drink around the world.
I mean, yes.
Ish, you know.
Ish, yes. We are old, so.
Yeah. I'm saying that, and I realize like it's been several years since I drank all the way around the world, and I can't handle. I can do it, but I can't handle like the hangover the next day as well as I used to.
No, it's like that's my problem. It's like I can drink, but it takes me like 4 days to recover. So that's why I don't. Which is what I just like. You know, my body just can't handle it anymore.
It still only takes me like a day, but like it. I used to be able to just get up and like run 2 miles and drink a bunch of water, and then it's like, yeah, I'm pretty much fine. Now it's like my day is like I don't even want to shower.
Yeah.
Like and also I crave like gross food. I crave like McDonald's so bad when I'm hungover, and I probably eat McDonald's twice a year. So
yeah, McDonald's is only relevant when you're hungover.
Yeah.
Do you guys have all day breakfast at McDonald's now, or?
Yes.
Like some items, yeah, not everything, but yeah, some.
All you need are breakfast burritos, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want a burrito, man. I want like French fries.
Oh.
And then I'm like, but if I'm getting French fries, I guess I want a cheeseburger too. And I'm fine while I'm eating the fries, and then I start eating the cheeseburger, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
All I want is a bacon and egg McMuffin and French fries, which is why having the breakfast all day is like the ideal for hangover, because like you can combine.
True. That's why
it's like brunch.
I lived in a college town for a little while, and before the all day breakfast, they had a super late night menu, and it was like the breakfast foods with fries, and I loved it. But now you can get it all the time, so. I just really like the breakfast.
We're living
burritos.
in the future, man. It's just amazing. So my plans for the next couple of months is to see Harry Styles twice. And so that's all I care about, and that's all I can think about.
When are you seeing him, and where?
On the 30th in London, and then on the 26th in Sydney.
Oh my gosh. 2 different continents. Very nice. World travelers, both of you.
We're just flying around the world with each other. It's fine. I mean, I'm just like going, I've spent all of my money on this like freaking rich white boy, and I hate myself, but I can't stop.
Doesn't he have North American dates too?
Yeah. He's been on he's on tour in America now, I think.
Oh, I've been. My cat has zoomies. She's running around.
But he's back again next year with an arena tour, because at the moment he's doing like a tiny venues tour. So.
Oh.
And then he's back next year with an arena tour.
Tiny venues.
Well, you know, like small.
Yeah.
Venues.
Intimate
venues. Which is insane.
I have Beach City Con next weekend, and then I am done with conventions for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Which is, I can't wait, y'all. I can't wait. And it's not just like my convention season. It's it was just too much packed into the beginning 2 months and too much packed into the last like month and a half. Like I didn't, this summer it was MegaCon or Memorial Day, Comic-Con like third weekend of July, and then, Dragon Con over Labor Day. That's not so bad. But then like before MegaCon, I had Ice and Fire Con, like right before that. And right before that, I had ClexaCon, which was also a lot of travel, like cross country and stuff for Clexa and Ice and Fire Con. And then, this past like month and a half, or this past month, and then into the next 2 weeks, I'm exhausted. So I'm done with convention season after Beach City Con until possibly early January. It may even be longer than that. It depends on whether or not my friends and I get a hotel for MagFest, which is in like the National Harbor area of Maryland, the beginning of January. Because if we don't get a host hotel, I'm not gonna bother going. But yeah, other than that, I'm done. I really want to go to England. It probably isn't going to happen in December like I wanted to, but maybe February or March. We'll see.
Oh, tickets for the New York, the Broadway Cursed Child go on sale soon, I think.
Yeah, I don't care so much about seeing Cursed Child. Like my reasons for wanting to go to England are actually for my writing. Like the book I'm working on right now takes place there, and I've never been there. So yeah.
Well, that's a bit, you can't write about somewhere you've never been.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it doesn't matter, but like because of the type of book it is. But in some ways, it does. Like I feel like there's so many things that would be so much more descriptive if I'd actually seen these places. So yeah, it's a big tax write-off. That's a thing. But yeah, so hopefully.
Cool. England for writing research is always England is a very literary place. Like lots of people have written here, so it's nice to be in the same place. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Recommendations for October.
I'll go. I have been rewatching The X-Files from the beginning.
You should write like a big ass recommendation post on it that's like, watch the X-Files, only these seasons, like the first, whatever, however many seasons, and ignore the new stuff. It would be good for October though. It really would. X-Files is kind of boorish.
Yeah, it's really good. And like it still holds up. It's 25 years later. And I mean, for 25. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, knowing that Gillian Anderson was 25 when she started that, which is 10 years younger than I am right now, is just like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch it when I was in junior high.
Same.
So.
And like, I didn't realize how young she was back then.
Yeah.
I guess shoot. And I think I'm thinking more of like late high school and early like college, when I used to like it, because the biggest memories I have of X-Files is when I watched it with my friends. So I'm thinking more like junior year of high school through like sophomore year of college. And in that time frame, that's like late 90s, early 2000s. So she was probably, 30, early 30s, to mid 30s. And it's like, I thought she was so old. And I don't mean like she looked old or anything, but like she was like this accomplished like character and actress also. And now I'm that age.
Yeah, and I'm just like, do you know what? That is just unrealistic expectations for people.
Well, sure. Scully as a character is like very kind of prim and like, she definitely, especially in the earlier seasons, acts more, mature than she probably
oh, she's got a medical degree. Like, she's worked very hard.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like, Mulder's in there just like, he's going to ruin everything with his nonsense.
So I guess here's my
True.
question, because I honestly don't remember. The actress was that old, but was Scully that old, or was she supposed to be older? Because I mean, you think somebody that's a doctor would be more like late 20s by the time they have gone to school, gotten their doctorate, gone through all the schooling they need, and then gotten to that point, in their career.
Well, I don't think it was ever really defined her age, but I do think it was implied that she was older than that because, I mean, yes, she was a medical doctor, but then she was also, after the first season, they closed down the X-Files, and then she went and taught at the FBI. And so I feel like, yeah, she was probably older.
They just hire young actresses because ageism.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson to me pulled it off.
I mean, she can do it. Like, she can do anything. Gillian Anderson
No,
can
yeah,
literally
she absolutely pulled it off. And like now she does not look her age at all. I mean, at all. If I look that good when I am what she's got to be 50, close to 50 now.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, so that's your recommendation, X-Files for October. That's a good
fun.
October watch. Yeah. Plus, with X-Files, it's mostly episodic, so you can kind of just like pick an episode and jump in, like if you've watched it before too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it from the beginning, but that's kind of, I'm so busy right now that, and I've seen them all before, so I just kind of like, oh, I don't remember this one at all, or, oh, yeah, I love this one. So, yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to recommend Black Sails again because it is so good and I love it. And like, I just think it's one of the best shows that has not got as much credit as it deserves. And I'm also going to recommend Star Trek Discovery because I just watched the 3rd episode and it was really good. And, I think that we could use a little like of Star Trek's unfettered optimism, although it's like a darker Star Trek, it's still got that kind of like, sincerity that Star Trek has that only Star Trek can have. That's really nice. So yeah, I recommend Star Trek Discovery and Black Sails.
Okay, so Outlander is my recommendation generally. I really did not ever picture myself recommending this show. I read the first book. I had a really rough time, and this is like personal stuff that was very triggering for me. I had a really rough time dealing with some stuff that happened at the end of it. And then Erin had watched, the first season, or was watching the first season of it, and so was I, but warned me about, how they showed some of the things from the book that I couldn't handle. So I never finished watching season 1. But then I went to Comic-Con this year and I was lucky enough to get like press access to their booth without having to wait in the crazy line. And they were super nice and talked to me about the new season. And I saw the trailer and took a bunch of pictures and everything. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll give this show another chance. And I never finished season 1, but I feel like I read the book and I don't really need to go back and watch these episodes that I know would be very difficult for me to watch. So I watched season 2. There were some flashbacks and stuff that were bothersome to me, but like overall, I really enjoyed it. To the point where I finished it several weeks before season 3 was airing, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need more Outlander in my life." So I have been watching it weekly now. It's really, and Erin, you were in it was you who was in the panel for it this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had said like you got to watch the season premiere and said it was going to be a very different season, and it is. It's really different from the first 2, but like I'm really enjoying it, and it's a really just gorgeous show. The costumes, the music, the scenery. So yeah, I don't know. It can be a bit cheesy at times, but I think that they really balance out the cheesiness with just high quality costumes, music, scenery, and acting. I think it's worth a watch if you're like, especially if you like historical fiction. It's got that fantasy element to it, but it really is worth watching. So that's my thing.
Excellent. Awesome.
Very good.
Right. Well, does anyone have a question to ask anyone?
No, I never have a question. I don't know.
Is anybody doing anything for Halloween? Do we do stuff for Halloween at this age?
No.
I don't. Like, I was at a convention last year, and that was the only reason I had, like, and it wasn't on Halloween night per se, but like that was the reason I had Halloween plans. And this year I'm like,
Well, I'm going to see Harry Styles on the 30th, so that's the
That
day before
counts.
Halloween.
That counts.
Happy
So
Halloween.
that'll be spooky. I hope he does
Spooky.
something very spooky. I hope he wears a like Halloween themed Gucci suit with ghosts on it. Oh my god, he has a song, Two Ghosts. It would be perfect.
God, that
You should-
song.
Gucci at Gucci, please make a custom suit with ghosts on it.
My dog loves that song.
Your dog loves that song. Okay, fair.
I love that song too, but my dog, like, I sing it to him sometimes because I love it, and he just like looks at me like.
I don't think my dogs like care that much about music. My cat loves when I sing. Like, he'll climb up on my shoulder. Like, even if I'm standing like singing, trying to do work, he'll jump on the counter and try to climb on my shoulder, because I tend to like listen to music and sing while I'm cleaning. And like, if I ever have to bring him somewhere, like when I've moved and stuff and I sing in the car, he like climbs on my shoulder and like drapes himself over me. My dogs don't care. They're like,
My dog's kind of weird. He's kind of sensitive. I don't know. And he loves Harry Styles, apparently.
Everybody
whatever.
loves Harry Styles. It's not weird. Like, everyone always, like, I've just been like at the like over the last like 2 years had like so many people coming up to me and confessing that they love Harry Styles. Like, it's this dirty little secret that like no one else can possibly know. And like, Vaughn, you're the only person that will understand this. And I'm just like, look, you are like literally every person in the world. Like, this is not a weird thing.
I feel like I haven't like discovered Harry Styles enough to love him, but
You will get there.
maybe someday.
If you did, you would, because that's what happens. It's not weird. It's just what happens when people discover Harry Styles. They fall in love with him.
There's that video like that I posted on Facebook like a few weeks ago where it's just him being like adorable.
Mm-hmm.
The one lady's like, just take a normal picture, Harry, because he's like posing, and so he goes and he stands against the wall just for like 1 second, and then he's like,
That's from This Is Us, and you're just like, oh my god, those poor people that had to deal with One Direction.
Yeah, but that was adorable. Like that.
It was working.
It was a little obnoxious, but it was also like really.
I mean,
cute.
totally adorable, but at the same time, you're like, oh my god, poor people.
Okay, well, anyway.
All right, guys, and we're done because I need to go to sleep.
Yeah. Vaughn needs to go to sleep.
I am Vaughn, and I'm here along with Tara and Erin. And thank you for joining us for Feelings with the Geekiary. I remember that this is a free webcast run up donations from viewers like you. So thank you for contributing to our host site, the Geekiary. And we will see you next month at the beginning of November.
Yeah, November.
So I'll be able to tell you all about what Harry Styles is like live.
Yeah. Have you ever seen him live before?
No.
Oh, wow. Well, I can't wait to hear about it then.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Bye.